Further debate? Member from Oshawa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to share some voices from the Oshawa community and broadly across Durham Region as the official opposition again shows leadership and takes the opportunity to call, as they have been consistently during this pandemic, for paid sick days for Ontarians, for those who don't have them, for options and opportunity, for a strategy to ensure that people are well, not just during the pandemic, but going forward. And it's been very interesting, Speaker, because over the course of the pandemic, we have seen the member from London West bring forward her Bill 239 to ensure that people could stay home when they are sick. That was defeated by this government. This, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Speaker, is the third official opposition day motion where we have prioritized the health and safety of Ontarians, specifically around paid sick days. Yes, we're adding in other pieces as this pandemic unfolds about the need to have daily testing at essential workplaces, the need for leave for vaccinations, but we have been consistent. And interestingly, there's only ever been one speaker from the government benches, the member from Burlington. I don't know how she drew the short straw, but she has literally been, as I recall, the only speaker at each opposition day motion. And I'm going to read into that, and I'm going to say that the other government members don't want to be on record speaking against paid sick days, but that is strictly conjecture, Speaker. I am very proud, though, to be on the record and call for paid sick days for Ontarians. Speaker, I'm going to read the motion itself. The Legislative Assembly calls on the Ford government to develop an essential workplaces safety plan with adequate funding and resources to ensure all workers are offered access to the vaccine and paid time off to receive it, to provide provincially paid sick leave for workers experiencing symptoms of or diagnosed with COVID-19, and to provide on-site daily testing at essential workplaces as part of its effort to curb the spread of the virus. Gosh, that sounds like a great idea. In fact, I'm pretty sure that everyone who reaches out to our office, whether from the front lines, essential workers, those who work in healthcare, those who are connected to the business community, all of us are singing from the same songbook, except the government. So, and they're digging in their heels, and they're forcing people to make impossible choices. So everyone supports this initiative, from the government's own science table to our neighbours in need who get up in the morning or head out in the evening to do that essential work that we never used to think about. It just got done, but now we realize people are dying, not dying to do it, they have to do it, but they are getting sick, their families are getting sick, and there is a way to protect them, a way to layer that in. So, Speaker, I wanted to share, so it's not just my words, share from Ashley, who wrote to me. She's a lab technician. She said, due to the Ford government's lack of care and attention towards this deadly pandemic, we haven't received paid sick days, enough vaccines, frequent COVID test availability appointments, or a temporary COVID relief pause on bills such as car insurance, rent, and OSAP relief. She goes on to say that she's had her first dose of Pfizer but is forced to miss a week of work because of a COVID scare. And she says, quote, missing this week of work will cause me to lose 25% of my monthly income. 25% of my monthly income pays my car insurance and my gas. But because of Ford's refusal to implement paid sick days, I will be losing these funds that are necessary to my day-to-day life. She thanks us for continuing the work opposite this government. I heard from Robert Modem, who is a Whitby constituent, who says, quote, we've known for weeks, if not months, that the majority of new COVID cases are occurring in workplaces and congregate settings. Where's the paid sick leave? I'm exhausted and frustrated by Mr. Ford's insistence that the CRSB is paid sick leave. Surely you can see this is not the case. Please tell me why paid sick leave isn't a good idea, because I haven't found a single source that suggests this wouldn't help the dire situation in which we find ourselves. Certainly, coming from your riding in Whitby, I'm Oshawa, Speaker. In Whitby, you have constituents in manufacturing who would benefit from such a program. He goes on to say, the vaccine rollout has been incredibly disappointing. Anyway, it continues. It's pages, Speaker, but I'm going to stick to this conversation today and say enough with the back and forth from this government about federal versus provincial. We need provincial sick days that are accessed through employers, can be claimed in days, that people can wake up in the morning, they know what they need to stay well, that they can make that call to stay home instead of being forced to make the impossible choice of going to work and potentially putting people at risk. We are hearing about workplaces. You know, there was an article yesterday, working under COVID-19, essential workers in Durham want testing and vaccine access. Workers at a at a warehouse in Ajax, they're terrified to go to work. They need on-site testing. They're demanding that. So, Speaker, this is a great motion. This government needs to reverse course and support this and support Ontarians, keep them safe, healthy, well, and alive. Thank you.